We live.
Okay, so all right. Welcome to the first ever Hear No Pseudo, Speak No Pseudo live stream podcast.
Welcome.
Yeah. I'm your host, Quante.
And I'm your co-host, Tiana.
No, you're the host too.
Host. It don't matter.
We would actually both be co-hosts, but
Yeah.
okay. So today, so we're doing the podcast and we're doing a live stream from the fan page.
So we're on Facebook and we're on the podcast. So if you hear us kind of going back and forth with the audience, that's what we're doing.
Right. So right now we're live. For those of you listening on the podcast, we're live on our Facebook page, and so far we don't have anybody watching.
No, we probably won't. But this is our first podcast that's on live, and there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of people going live, so I don't expect to have a whole bunch of people on our first live. But as we do these more and promote more, I believe we will grow.
Right. So today's topic is COVID-19 and social media, and we're just going to focus on, first, let us be clear that neither I neither Tiana nor myself are healthcare professionals.
Right.
But what we do is gather information, or we have gathered information from accredited healthcare professionals for this episode. So I just want to put that out there because as a good friend of mine, I always say common sense science. So that's basically what we deal with. So today we're going to focus on what we do know about COVID-19, aka coronavirus, aka Rona, aka Lil Ron, whatever. So we're going to focus on the info that we have for that. Now, all the information we have has been gathered from accredited sources and accredited people in the healthcare industry.
And we will talk about where we gathered our information because we are members of Impedum, and we are members of the African People's Socialist Party. And it's not an event for that. This is totally our views, our, separate, what do you call it?
These are our own personal views. They do not reflect the views of APSP,
right.
Impedum, Chairman Omali Yesatella. These are strictly the views and opinions of Quante and Tiana.
Right.
But shout out to Impedum, though.
Yeah, shout out to Impedum, meaning that we get our, right and exact information through the Uhuru movement, that, the Africans that are leading other Africans to health, self-determination, all of that.
Right.
So, we eat, breathe, and sleep Impedum. So we talk about it, it's not a secret, but we want to make sure that the disclaimer that these are, when we're talking about conspiracy theories and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, these are our views and things like that.
Right. So we have a few things that we're going to tackle. Social media has been a big platform for conspiracy theorists for a while now. And like right now with what's going on with the COVID-19 pandemic, conspiracy theorists are like coming up out of the woodworks. They're crawling from under rocks. I'm seeing conspiracy theorists from things like from even things I didn't see, like when Kobe Bryant's death, like they were all coming out. Nipsey Hussle's death a year ago, like all kinds of stuff. But like right now, there is a plethora of conspiracies and a plethora of conspiracy theories, from 5G cell phone towers to bats to
if you black, you can't get COVID-19.
If you have melanin.
If you what's another one? If you're vegan, you never get sick.
That's one of the biggest ones.
What else do we got? We got heat kills the virus.
Boiling orange peels and lemon and garlic.
Boil orange peels and sniff it. Actors are faking it when they say they got the coronavirus. And a whole bunch of other stuff that will probably come up as we go on.
Yeah. So, did you want to?
I think that, the first we want to let you know what it actually is, what COVID-19 actually is. And, so where's the pamphlet? Let me see. Hold on, guys. Would you like to read it? Because my glasses gone.
And we're in the car too.
Yeah, we are in the car. We didn't want to, yeah. So, okay. So did you want to read?
Okay. So Impedum has been doing outreach and passing out these brochures on how to stay safe and protect yourself during the so-called COVID-19 pandemic. And yesterday, comrade, Impedum Conrad, who's actually our San Diego branch president, Mwambi, shout out to Mwambi. We went out and did outreach yesterday and went door to door handing out these brochures, and then also posted some flyers on like poles or whatever. But these are the brochures. It's helpful information. The info comes from AAPDEP.
ABDAP.
It's the All African People's Development and Empowerment Project, and it's a nonprofit, and it's a membership-based organization. So, what the info we handed out was from ADEP. So, COVID-19, and then it says COVID-19, and then what is the coronavirus, or what is coronavirus? I'm sorry. So basically, coronavirus (COV) are a large family of viruses that causes illnesses ranging from the common cold to more severe diseases such as Middle East respiratory syndrome and severe acute respiratory syndrome. COVID-19 is a new strain of coronavirus that has not been previously identified in humans. Though some people's illness will be severe, the vast majority of COVID-19 illnesses are probably going to be relatively mild, even asymptomatic. A recent report from China looking at over 72,000 infected people shows 80% of cases are mild.
Wow. Okay. And also, how is it spread? Early evidence suggests the coronavirus mainly spreads through respiratory droplets that float through the air when an infected person coughs or sneezes. Those droplets can either land on you, making you sick, or they can fall onto a surface and take up residency for some time. Newer research suggests that COVID-19 may also spread through feces. For example, a person doesn't wipe efficiently, traces of feces cling onto their hands. Ew. If they then touch a doorknob, the virus could be transmitted to someone else who might touch it later.
Okay, and I'm going to elaborate on that because I actually have some info from Dr. Anthony Fauci. I think his name is Anthony Fauci, who is an infectious disease expert. And he talked about the droplets in an interview he did with, I can't even think of the guy's name right now, but he's like well known. The light-skinned brother. Oh, I can't think of his name. Anyway, so the respiratory illness, and it spreads from person to person at a high degree of morbidity and mortality. It's similar to influenza, and it spreads easily even if you're not symptomatic. So it's insidious. Mortality is like 0.1%, and mortality is 10 times that is 1% very high for those who have like an underlying conditions like heart diseases, lung disease, diabetes. And sneezing and coughing spreads the droplets because when you sneeze or you cough, they don't go down, they kind of like go out. And it also can be passed from like handshaking and stuff if you're not sanitary or whatever, like immediately washing your hands after you shake someone's hands. And even then they're saying like the disease can last up to like 5 or 6 days. So even on a surface, like also like the bottom of your shoes or whatever clothes, like it can last for up to several hours or even several days this way. So that information is reliable information. I got that from infectious disease expert who actually has worked with several presidents over the years, even with the HIV and AIDS epidemic and swine flu and different types of diseases. He worked closely with the presidents and the government, and I also think he works with the CDC. So this is valuable information, people. This is not stuff like, we don't just grab stuff off the internet and put out anything, no type of propaganda, like everything. If anybody knows Tiana and myself, and they've been following the podcast, because this is like episode like number 6 of the podcast, we always bring factual information that we can back up. We don't just put anything out there. Information we put out is you can find it on like these websites, like you go to the CDC website or wherever. Yeah, babe, go ahead. What's next?
Well, I mean, I just want to get into what we've been seeing
sorry about that,
online. Basically, did you want to talk about that? Because I've been seeing, first of all, like I made a post on Facebook saying being vegan does not keep you safe from coronavirus, okay? And people took that the wrong way. They started gunning for veganism, and it's not an attack on veganism, okay? It's not a chance to go, gang bang veganism, okay? Veganism is just to say that to tell somebody that if you're vegan, or if you don't eat meat, you're never going to get sick, or coronavirus, it can't affect you, is basically giving somebody a possible death certificate, or a possible certificate to get sick, because this is not, there's no evidence to back that up. It's not true, and everybody says it. I'm telling you, the whole I'm vegan and I never got sick argument, I'm sorry, but I'm not even sorry. There's meat eaters who say the same thing. There are people who do incredible things that you would think, oh, what are you talking about? Oh, I drink every day and I never get sick. I mean, people say this every day. Just because you are vegan does not mean you're not going to get coronavirus, nor does it mean that you are you're never going to get sick. And this is the type of information that we need to stop.
Yeah, because I've had a couple of experiences with those. Oh yeah, and by the way, you guys, if you're on the live stream, please feel free to ask questions or comment any way you feel. What?
We can't see the comments though.
There aren't any comments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't just see. Right
yeah,
now.
I don't know how this works. I'm old, y'all.
Yeah. No, you're not old. You just. But yeah, so yeah, feel free to ask questions, make comments or whatever. That was one of the reasons why we're doing the live stream. I want to get into, okay, so elaborate on what you said about vegans. I've had several people block me or whatever when they try to promote this whole vegan thing, and I'm like, being that from the background that I'm from, and I was vegan for like 10 years, from like 1995 to like 2005, I was vegan, hardcore vegan. I've seen vegans get sick. I've seen vegans get sick and die. Like they're just a healthy person one day, and then all of a sudden they are sick, and then boom, they're dead. You know what I mean? Like, I saw that a lot. Now what I notice is a lot of vegans or whatever, they'll talk that vegan stuff, but they have to take a lot of something. Now, I'm not knocking being vegan at all. Like I said, like even to now, even though I'm not vegan, like we still balance it out. You know what I mean? Like there's times when we'll have a meal and there's no meat in that meal at all.
Right.
That's just,
and it's
good. Yeah,
it's
it is good. It make you feel, you don't get the itis. You know what I mean?
You feel real good.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love the discipline that vegans have. They have discipline as far as when it comes to eating,
right.
and so that's another benefit. So we're not knocking veganism.
No, not at all. Not knocking it at all. But if you're gonna parade around like you think you all that, because you a vegan. Like, that's just not right. Like, a lot of vegans, like, they like to knock people for not being vegan. Like, oh, you're not vegan. This so. Oh, you stink and all this stuff. Like,
woke.
just sounding
You
stupid.
unclean. Like, all that stupid stuff.
Yeah, so it's no reason to be like that. Like, if you're vegan, that's cool. Be vegan, but don't knock people who aren't vegan. You know what I mean? Your ego you're doing too much with your ego when you act like that.
And don't spread lies that you can't get coronavirus if you're
Exactly.
vegan. Because wasn't it Tom Hanks they said that he got coronavirus and people were saying that he was vegan.
But you know they were saying he lied. Oh, and
they said he lied.
Idris Elba's wife, she's vegan or something like that.
And she didn't get it.
And she didn't get it. So, I mean, who knows at the end of the day? Like, you know, this disease is not discriminating against you because of your skin color or because of what you eat at all.
Yeah, and are we testing people to see what they ate? Because the people that got sick or the people that passed away, we don't know what they ate. You know,
exactly.
We don't know if they were vegan or not.
So, you know, also aside from that, I think the biggest conspiracy behind this is, drum roll, 5G towers.
Oh God, I don't even know. Like, that's just, when I heard that. First of all, explain what the conspiracy is.
So the conspiracy is that the 5G towers that they're implementing has caused the start of the coronavirus came from the 5G towers that were in China, like in this little village in China called Wuhan, whatever. Like the 5G tower was implementing this radioactivity that caused the virus. Now, I don't know, you know, like, to me, maybe it's just because I don't know. I don't dwell in, like, you know, conspiracy theories or whatever. But the first time I heard this, I'm like, how can a virus get started from radio waves or radioactivity, or how does a virus get started like this? And, you know, I've had people come on several posts and try to explain how the radioactivity can be caused and get a person sick, and then now it's passed from person to person, it becomes a virus. Well, that's totally illogical. It's bullshit, for lack of a better word, to be honest with you. And then they'll say, you know, well, the waves, like, because if, like, go around cell phone towers, people saying, you know, they're seeing birds and bees, dead birds and bees lying around the towers. But the waves that these towers emit are like the same as a microwave. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing. Like, it's literally like, I hate to bring this up, but have you ever been to somebody's house and you seen like a roach inside the microwave?
Ooh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it can't be that harmful. Now,
well, roaches survive radiation. They survive with their heads cut off.
Everything, but when you stomp on them.
Yeah, so we can't.
And the light when you turn it on.
I'm just saying, I'm playing devil's advocate that, you know, people will use that.
Yeah, but so anyway, so those waves that they produce are the same as a microwave. Like, you know, like, who knows? They say, you know, long exposure could cause small health issues. Like, there's no evidence that proves 5G towers emit a harmful wave or type of radioactivity or whatever that could cause people to die. Like, they don't even know why they find insects and birds literally, like, dead, not in abundance, but it just could be people saying, you know, they could be flying into the towers or whatever. Who knows? You know, there's no diehard proof that proves that these towers are killing anything
or causing coronavirus.
Well, they're definitely not calling coronavirus.
Right.
They're definitely not doing that. Like, it's just total utter nonsense to think like that.
How do you think people made that connection? Who's saying that? Like, where did it come from, or do we even know that?
It comes from people being misinformed, and I mean, because, you know, people have been saying, like, even way back in the 90s that cell phones emit some type of radioactivity that could cause cancer or whatever. I remember, like, back in maybe the early 2000s, like, pulling in the stores, and they used to sell these little things that they claim you could put on your cell phone battery that would decrease the radioactivity. I mean, looking at it then, I've always been a skeptic, so I'm like, man, that's bullshit. That'll stop even if it was, this little sticker is not gonna stop that. But those people that came up with stuff like that, they made a fortune off of that. Like this dude, like the store, I remember going in there and he's trying to sell me one, and it was like $10. And
capitalizing off the people's
you know what I'm
ignorance.
saying? So you think about it, if he sold 1,000 of those things for $10, like imagine, and you know he sold more than 1,000, so just imagine. So, I didn't buy one. I never got into all of that stuff like that. You know, because they were saying for years that cell phones cause cancer of the brain or something like that. But then you turn around, these same people are using a cell phone. So, so yeah, it just ties into that. 5G, they're just kind of like, I don't know, promoting this thing where people are against 5G. People were against 4G. People were against 3G when it came out. And the G stands for generation, for those of you who don't know, because this was a argument I had a couple of days ago too. What does the G stand for? It stands for generation.
What did they think it standed for, or stood for?
Global warfare. I don't know.
Stood for.
Gamma rays. I don't know what they thought it stood.
Yeah, I didn't get into the 5G thing because like some things are so ignorant to me that I just scroll right on past, or just kind of ignore the thing, because it's like, what is you talking about? That's my that's my response. Like, I don't have time for certain arguments, but it is good to bring these things up, because this misinformation keeps people sick, or keeps us down, and we have to move. It's us against the state. The state does not care about us.
Right.
The state is not trying to help us out, and we have to help ourselves as much as we can. So one of the biggest ways to do that is to get the right information out, and to kind of stomp on the false information, like vegan or Africans can't get it. Are there Africans dying from coronavirus? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So Africans can get coronavirus, but to tell people this, you're going to have people who believe Africans can't get it and going out and I can go out and do whatever and be just fine. So to me, the solution is to stop. If you don't have facts or evidence to back it up, don't even talk about it. Don't spread it. Don't repost it unless you're reposting, something like a disclaimer. Don't even talk. So, look, messing up.
My bad.
Messing up.
That wasn't me. That was the 5G tower.
Yeah, that was 5G tower.
So yeah, that's one of the biggest ones. A lot of people, and I mean, you could just really look up this stuff yourself. As far as like the 5G, I mean, it's a lot of theories behind it, but there's no concrete evidence. There's definitely no evidence that coronavirus came from 5G towers. Like, that's utter nonsense.
Or what did they say? If you eat meat, you get it.
Those two are the biggest two lies that you're going to hear.
The biggest ones, yeah. What about actors faking it?
I mean, it's a possibility. I'm not going to say it's not true, but I don't see why somebody would put themselves in jeopardy like that.
Or fake that they have coronavirus.
Yeah, because
like,
it's
what
not
would be
a joke.
the
Like,
reason?
would you think somebody would fake saying they have HIV?
Nope.
But people say that about Magic Johnson, right? You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do know that.
Okay, so.
I do know that.
I mean, but what does it benefit, though? Because, I mean, obviously Magic Johnson has money to get the best, medicine or whatever's available. People gonna probably say Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi cured Magic Johnson of HIV, which we know that's not true. So just all kind of things like I don't like, me personally. If I'm a celebrity, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie about having something I don't have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Regardless. Like, especially that early on in the so-called pandemic. of the, as Chairman O'Malley Yesatella says, colonial virus.
We've been fighting the colonial virus.
We've been fighting the colonial.
So we will survive the colonial virus. And the coronavirus is very, very serious. But we also don't want people to panic, like to where you think that it's a total just death sentence on you. You know what I mean? Like we can come up, we can come out. We just have to follow the right protocols when we go out. And we got to stop listening to this misinformation, and we got to stop spreading it. The spread of the misinformation is what's really like adding to killing the people.
Very dangerous.
You know, it's killing it's killing us because it's poor people. It's people, the working class. You know, it's us that's being affected. You know what I mean?
And we're the ones that have the less amount of resources.
We have the less amount of resources.
Exactly.
We're the ones that still got to go to work. See, you know what I mean? We got the
We're the ones out of work right now.
Right, you know, so we're getting hit the most.
Exactly.
And we can't depend on, it's the people versus the state. We can't depend on the state to bring us right and exact information. We can't depend on the state to really protect us. You know, we have to. It's a wake up call to a lot of us who think it's cool to just chill and relax.
Exactly.
You know, this is not we're still in times where revolution is necessary, and we won't surrender. That's what I want to put out there too. You know, it's a revolution out here. We have to be self-sufficient and self-determined.
Yeah, it's
growing
also,
your own food.
Exactly. I was getting ready to bring that up. Like, it's also a time, if you don't have any survival skills, it's time to start learning some people for real. I'm in this group on Facebook, a Facebook page. Me and my old schoolmate, my homeboy from childhood, Terrence Moody, he's in there too. Black Survivalists, and that group, I love that group because they give you a lot of information on like how to grow food, how to hunt for food, how to be prepared just in case your lights go out or you don't have any gas, or you know, they show you how to build a fire from little things like pine straw. I mean, a lot of this stuff I already know because I grew up like a country boy, you know what I mean? So I know a lot of this little stuff just by trial and error, because when you live in the country, and you just get bored. And then back in my day, it wasn't no social media, and you couldn't sit in the house all day. You had to take your ass outside. So a lot of this stuff you just learn from being around your friends, like how to start fires, which would get your ass whooped and get in trouble all the time, because I used to start a lot of fires. One thing I know how to do is start a fire from scratch. But you know, like hunting and stuff, like we used to make our own bow and arrows from scratch.
Cool.
Different little stuff, like we used to build like clubhouses and stuff, so if I had to, I could build some shelter, you know what I mean? Like, it's really not that hard. It just takes a little effort and time. But yeah, so a lot of these, and like we don't really, because we depend on grocery stores. Like we're dependent on, and you can see that obviously because you go to grocery stores now, they don't have any toilet paper. They, you know, a lot of the canned goods, all the non-perishable stuff is gone. Like, she was mad one day because they didn't have no tuna. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, damn, they ain't got no tuna. Like, come on.
They don't have no cooking oil.
Oh yeah.
We still haven't seen any toilet paper.
Yeah.
Except for like at little convenience stores, and they want to charge you $20 to get a roll of toilet paper.
$7 for 4 rolls, or
right.
$3 for a roll. The roll is 1 ply. Like, who wants to use 1 ply toilet paper, man? Come on.
And again, I want to mention people who are struggling, who don't have the money to stockpile.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They're suffering. We're all suffering with that. We don't have the money to buy up 20 rolls or big packages of toilet paper and buy up all the hand sanitizer and everything like that, you know. But we live in a parasitic world. You know, it's a parasitic system, and so we've learned that. You know, a lot of people have learned how to be what do we want to call it?
How to be
parasitic.
Yeah, that's the only word.
Yeah, you know, and so we have to, as a people, we do have to encourage unity. You know, don't go in there, and it is not necessary right now to get 20 things of toilet tissue and all that stuff, and leave our other people hanging. You know what I mean? We have to delete the colonization, get rid of the colonization and get rid of the colonized attitude and unify, unite as one.
Right.
So that's another thing I
But
want
yeah,
to mention.
I noticed too though, like when you go in these stores, like the produce sections, they stop.
Because nobody's getting apples and oranges.
Yeah,
Nobody's getting fruit.
Produce is staying stock.
Nobody's
Like
getting
they're
vegetables.
just getting all the canned goods and stuff like that. Like I said, the non-perishable. But you go in there like, if I need onions or cabbage or whatever, they got all that. But still, it's still wise to be able to grow your own. If not, maybe get together with a group of people who can start a community garden, or someone who has a nice, some land that they own, or even if they got a big yard or whatever. Which we ain't got nobody got no big yards in Cali, but
Yes, we do.
just making available space for what you have. Like you can even do hanging like tomatoes. You can do that. You can hang stuff to grow. Just gotta utilize and be smart right now, because man, I'm telling you, like when shit really hit the fan, well, they be talking about the zombie apocalypse for years. That's exactly what it's gonna be.
And
like.
I used to get scared. Like, I remember a few years back, people were eating people's face off. I don't know if you remember that.
That's when them people were taking them baths off.
And I thought the zombie apocalypse was coming in. I was like, man, people are eating people's face. No, because that's the thing. Like, when I hear some factual stuff happening like that, like I seen it on the news. I was like, oh, no. We got to be careful, because people starting to eat people. And then people are just standing around in a circle just looking at it happen. But what I wanted to mention, a brilliant website to go to. I mean, I love this website because it gives report of things that are being done to fight against colonial virus, aka coronavirus, helping the people, helping, Africans helping Africans, we helping each other. So I wanted to say, visit www.developmentforafrica.org. That website keeps you up to date on health. It gives you tips to build your immune system. It gives you all types of things, ways to protocols to follow before leaving your home and entering your home, how to wash your hands. It's a shame that so many people don't know how to wash their hands. It's a shame how many people do not know how to wash their hands and keep clean. Who should be staying in the house? People with compromised immune systems should be, definitely be extra cautious. People, elderly should be extra cautious. And that's it. While we're talking about elderly, people, when it first hit that, it affects elderly, then they were saying who it affects the most. And people who didn't have compromised immune systems, or who weren't old or elderly, were like, oh, well, it don't affect me. Like we shouldn't worry about that. We shouldn't care because it's not affecting us. And that is just sick. Do you remember them kind of like, acting like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think
People.
it's a shame that, like, in pretty much every other culture, the elders are the ones you look out for first. The elders and the babies, like, and a lot of different cultures, as your parents get older, they can't take care of themselves, automatically you're taking care of them because they took care of you. And people just like, man, I don't care about them old folks. Like, they're going in there and getting stuff.
I'm safe.
Yeah, pushing people out of the way and just like all kind of stuff, man. Like,
and that's crazy.
like that day I saw that lady crying or whatever in the store because they didn't have no onions, and she was like crying. She was an older lady, and the dude just was like, "What you crying about onions for? Just onions?" Damn, like I was like, "Wow, how you gonna talk to that old lady like that, man? That's somebody's mama." You know what I mean? Somebody, grandma, probably.
And the African proverb says.
Oh, they were black too, by the way.
There's an African proverb that says, when you lose an elder, you lose a library. We need to honor our elders. And our African leaders, period, too. I want to talk, specifically about African leaders because a lot of times we don't appreciate them until they're gone. And in this parasitic system. We need, the people to lead, and not these parasitic, the state, because the state does not care about our health. I mean, look at healthcare. It's hard. Why do you keep doing that?
I don't know. It's doing it by itself. I don't know.
Like, he cannot sit still. We can talk and he does not sit still. And then it makes me lose my train of thought. And I'm glad that we don't have to be so formal on our, podcast, because goodness, he would have messed me up. I'm just saying. I done lost my train of thought.
My phone got the coronavirus, y'all. I apologize for that.
But, yeah, it's serious out here. People are getting sick. People need to, stay in the house. People need to stop spreading misinformation and check out, credible sources and websites. This is why we speak against pseudoscience so much. All this pseudo mess, because people will spread a lie, and then another lie gets told, and another lie gets told, gets repeated, and then other people will think that it's true.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. I have one more thing that I want to. There's like a conspiracy theory or whatever that is tied into this whole thing that I've been seeing. Mm-hmm. You said you haven't seen it when I brought it up a while ago.
What?
But I've been seeing it. So, Agenda 21. So a lot of people are saying that the coronavirus is the beginning stages of Agenda 21. And for those of you who do not know what Agenda 21 is. So Agenda 21, the Rio Declaration on Environmental and Development, and the Statement of Principles for the Sustainable Management of Forests were adopted by more than 178 governments at the United Nations Conference on Environmental and Development, UNCED, held in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil from June the 3rd to the 14th of 1992. Now, the main aim of Agenda 21 is to the 21 in Agenda 21 refers to the 21st century. It has been affirmed and had a few modifications at subsequent UN conferences. Its aim is achieving global sustainable development. One major objective of Agenda 21 initiative is that every local government should draw its own local Agenda 21. So, people are saying that basically the coronavirus is the way to wipe out basically the unwanted poor people or whatever of the world, and or certain countries or even certain states, to just get rid of them because they're a burden. Poor people. Oh, we got to pay for this and we got to pay their welfare. Because people always have this misconception that their tax money goes to paying for people's welfare or whatever. So they're saying that they're using the coronavirus as a part of Agenda 21 to wipe out the poor or impoverished people of the world. Because when you think about it, it doesn't make sense, because who is making the rich other than the poor and impoverished working class people of the world? Let's use some sense here, people. But that's another thing I've been seeing is people posting about Agenda 21, but they really don't understand Agenda 21 really is trying to do is get people that are in poverty out of poverty and give them some type of sustainability, and make them an essential part of the work, or the world or whatever. So they can kind of put an end to being to poverty. Let's face it, like a poor person in America is not going to really be the same as a poor person in, say, Honduras, or or a third world country or whatever, like Jamaica or whatever, where you have people living literally off less than $10 a week to feed a family of 4 or 5. Where in America, someone will be considered poor if they work at McDonald's and they're on welfare and they're taking care of 3 or 4 kids and living on Section 8. That person would be considered poor. There are technically, there are probably struggling to feed their kids and keep their lights on or whatever, or send their child to the best school. They probably had to go to a school that's not so great. So these are the things that Agenda 21 is trying to basically wipe that out. And not by killing people, but by just getting rid of poverty, because poverty is one of the biggest issues I think the world has. Not just America or certain countries, but the world has a poverty problem.
Yeah, I can't really speak on Agenda 21, because I don't really, I have to look into that. All I know is that, fighting colonialism, fighting colonial virus is fighting coronavirus, because we're being self-determined and we're thinking about, the people. We want the power to be in the hands of the people because the state has failed us, So that's what I believe will really ultimately get us to victory over the right information. Things like that. So that's what I tend to focus on.
Right. I just feel like we're in the position right now where we really have to be looking out for one another. Especially the African working class. We have the most to lose behind this pandemic, because a lot of us are not prepared, because a lot of us live below the poverty line, at the poverty line, or right below the poverty line. Like a lot of people say, I just got my head above water. Some of us ain't even got our whole head.
Living paycheck to paycheck.
Living paycheck to
Robbing
paycheck.
Peter to pay Paul.
All that. Not everyone is out. Not all Africans are out buying Jordans and $100 jeans and $100 shirts and the latest iPhone. Not all Africans are spending their money on that. Not all poor people are spending their money on iPhones and shit like that. Non-essential things. Some people are literally really having to spend their money eating and paying their bills every week without any money to save at all. That $10 you thought you was going to save to just start, maybe a little savings, now you got to put gas in the car with that, because something came up and you had to go somewhere that week you don't normally go, or your child need a new pair of shoes. You don't go buy your child a pair of brand new Jordans. You might go buy them a pair of Shaqs from Walmart, because that's all you can afford. So now everyone is wasting their money. Like, I know a lot of us like to argue about wasting money buying stuff we don't need that has no value, like gold and brand new clothes. Like, a lot of people say, the brokest dude on the corner got on $1,000 worth of clothes and blah blah blah, stuff that don't matter. But that's not always the case. Some people are literally poor to the point where they can't buy brand new stuff all the time.
Well, it's all as a result to like I said, colonialism. You know what I mean? Being a stolen people in a stolen land, and then being under the rule of the people that stole us and stole the land. You know what I mean? So it all goes back to colonial virus. Colonial virus is the coronavirus. You know what I mean? When we start fighting for power and putting the power into the people's hands, and stop believing that politics is not for Africans. Stop believing that stuff. Politics, everything is politics. You can't do nothing. You want to be liked. You want to move, with success for your people. Then get your ass some power. Like who said?
Chairman O'Malley, yes, tell her.
Get your ass some power.
Exactly.
There ain't no power when we don't own no land, and we don't. We gotta get some power. Politics is for us, and we need to stop thinking that it isn't. Otherwise, we will never be able to.
Even if you're an advocate against politics like myself, which I've never really liked politics. It's not politics, it's politicians that I don't agree with. Politics is important, yes, it's very important. It's just the politicians I don't really, And like in the roster circles back in the day, we used to call it politricks, because that's what it is, politricks. And yeah, I just don't agree with politicians. I just feel like they're all liars.
But that's not what. Yeah, we're not talking about.
But yeah, I'm just making the difference clear. Like, you know what I mean? Because I know I see Lawrence Lane watching, and me and him always disagreeing on politics. But it's like I say, it's not the politics I don't agree with. It's the politicians. It's a difference. So I just.
But people think that when we talk about politics, that's all we're talking about is the politicians.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we got African internationalism. We got our politics.
Right.
That we're talking about, and we have to have political power. We just have to. We have to have political power.
Shoot, we got about 15 minutes left.
And don't be cutting me off. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we got about 15 minutes left. I'm still waiting on questions or comments or something. Like, I don't know. Maybe everybody on
live.
Everybody doing quarantine stuff.
Everybody on live. I mean, you got to though. You have to find something to do. Teach yourself. Teach your children. What you doing to pass the time?
Playing PUBG. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
I'm just playing. Nah, yesterday I was out doing outreach with the comrade. I have. I probably can't mention that.
And this is still an atheist channel. Let me just put that out there. So what do you think religious people think about this? Because a lot of people are, I'm sorry, but a lot of people are talking about how you can't go to church. You have to practice social distances, right? So, but they're saying, but where's Jesus?
Ain't we supposed to be 6 feet from each other?
Yeah, right. But where's Jesus?
We sleep in the same bed.
Why? And my answer to that is to pay attention to the material world. You know what I mean? Pay attention to what's going on here. What you looking like that for?
No, what you mean? What are you saying? Like when you asked about church people? What you saying?
Yeah, because I'm just talking about the atheism. I gotta throw my atheist stuff in there. I gotta stay true to that. So I just wanted to speak about the other people talking about.
I did not come on this episode to talk about being atheist or religion at all. But since you're bringing it up,
that's the channel. That's what channel about.
Yeah, that's what our whole theme is. We're proud black atheists. So or proud, atheists. Period. We black Africans. So we atheists. At the end of the day, well, if you notice, so when this whole social distancing thing started, and they were talking about churches doing that's what I meant to tell you yesterday. And Mwami can back me up on this. He didn't see it, but I did. So when we were riding to go do outreach yesterday, we passed by a church. Right there on Avocado where we go.
Well, they don't know about no avocado.
Okay, it's Avocado Avenue or whatever. If you go further down, there's a church on the right, and they had a big old sign out there that said, what did it say? Live stream worship this Sunday or something like that. Basically, they were promoting their live stream worship or their service or whatever. And I just thought it was funny. But they're basically when this thing first started off, when it first popped off, churches were telling people like Creflo Dollar and what's that white dude name?
Joel Osteen.
Yeah, Kanye West daddy.
What? He likes Joel Osteen?
Well, they in cahoots with each other.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Kanye and Joel, they tight, boy. They like two peas in a pot.
Oh, is that why he made that album? That album?
Yeah, of course he did.
That Kanye album was horrible.
Okay,
y'all.
we're not gonna talk about Kanye.
It was horrible.
We ain't come here to talk about Kanye. I'm talking about how the churches. The first things a lot of them big mega churches did was start telling people, oh, y'all still got to pay y'all tithes online, pay them online and all that stuff.
Oh, man.
And then this pastor or preacher, whoever he was, wherever that was, they got locked up for having this mass church service or whatever. They locked his butt up. They should have locked the members up, too. I don't think it's fair to lock the pastor up you should lock the members up too, because the members should know better. You know what I mean? They should know better than to go out. Just like during spring break when all those kids were down in Florida going to the beaches and shit like that, and a lot of them got sick, and they actually fined a lot of them or something like that. I forgot how they went. So yeah, the churches, man, they a trip right now, boy.
I just want
They
to
gonna
know.
get their money regardless.
I just want to know the believers' answers. Like, you know, when you ask your God,
Believers
about,
are sitting back waiting for a cure for coronavirus so they can give all the glory.
Or I seen a meme that said something like, believers waiting for scientists to come up with a cure for COVID-19 so they can praise God or give God the credit.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So that I really want to know what somebody would say to that.
I mean, you have to ask them.
Of course, I know. I'm just saying.
We still don't have no comments. I guess nobody don't feel like asking questions, or maybe we can't see the comments. I don't know.
We don't need no questions.
We'll find out later on. But yeah, so this was our first live stream from this page. So feel free to share. Whatever. We talked about maybe possibly doing this once a month.
Yeah, once a month
Possibly.
or something, possibly, because, we're just talking freely. Like I said, this is not something that's just got to be formal or anything like that. I'm talking freely, and we got our little crew that listens in, and we listening on them, and we vibe
you know
out,
what? It's interesting because I just want to announce that the podcast is at 195 streams as of today.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Almost 200 streams on Speak No Pseudo podcast, which is pretty big considering that we only have like 5 or 6 episodes. So that's pretty amazing, because we had like 2 episodes in January, 1 in February, and like this is only the second one for March, I think. And but for those of you who are like, I thought y'all were gonna come with the African Americans are not Native Americans Part 2. We put that on hold because of what happened with the colonial virus or whatever. So we had to put that on hold, because I did have a brother from the Native American community who was going to interview or on that show, and I haven't even talked to him since that. But that Part 2 is still coming, so don't worry. We still going to get back, but right now this is more important, so we had to focus on this.
Yeah, all the conspiracy theories, like we said, is dangerous, and that's what we're really, a lot of people say, why you keep talking about this, or why you keep talking about that, and talking mess, and it's not talking mess. It's speaking out against the lies, because we care about our people. We care about the people. We love y'all, regardless if you don't like it or not, still got love.
Exactly.
So I'd rather you not like me and get the truth than you like me and get a lie. So,
yeah, because we ain't here for likes. We out here to spread the information.
Right.
Yeah, I don't care about no like. I don't care. I'm used to people hating me anyway, because, that's just what I deal with.
And he's mean, so.
I am not mean. She always talking about, let me tell you something. I'm only mean when I have to be mean.
That's what mean people say. That's what.
And I'm not
say.
really mean. I just, I don't tolerate no nonsense, so I might come off, with no filter.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
That's what mean people say. That's what mean people say. That I don't.
At least my words don't cut like a knife.
Every mean person and every rude person say the same thing. I'm not rude. I'm just real. No, you're rude.
For those of you that believe in astrology, she's an Aries, so y'all know how Aries' mouth can be.
Pseudo.
Yeah. So
right.
For those of you that believe in that.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. So anything else? We got like 5 minutes.
We got 5 minutes. I don't have nothing else to say.
We don't have
really.
any questions. Maybe some questions will pop up later on. I mean, we just couldn't see them, like I said. I mean,
yeah, it's our first time.
I mean, you do got an iPhone, so I mean, who
goodness.
knows? These iPhones, boy.
Anyway,
I gotta convert you.
No, I'm good. I've been had my same phone for I don't know how long.
I wouldn't even.
I'm surprised it's still working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Is that, but yeah, so I don't think we have too much more to say. Thanks for listening. This is our first time, so, and like I said, we chill. I'm chill right now, ain't it? So, it's not formal. It's just us chilling and talking, conspiracy theories.
Yeah. This is gonna be
Wash
the
your
last.
hands.
This is the last time I'm doing this.
Cover
from the
your
car. I know
mouth. And why? Oh, there's a lady that walks around.
That lady, she be
And
creeping
she
me out.
is always coughing. Like, and every time, and I know I'm like way far away from her, but every time she cough, I'll go even farther. Because it's just like cough in the house.
She need to go in the house.
Cough in the house. And she does it every single time.
Yeah, but I'm getting ready to move the car. Social distancing. Social media is a form of social distancing. Remember that. You can call family and friends or whatever. Only go check on them if it's an emergency. If you don't hear from them, or if they need something, they need some toilet paper, or maybe they ain't got no tuna and they want some, and you got some up in the house.
Build, yeah. Use social media.
We got to
to
look
build.
out for each other. We had some neighbors that we were exchanging things with, like they gave us some toilet paper one day. We gave them some water. So it's kind of like being working out, but I think they found out we were atheists and they don't want to talk to us no more. But anyway.
I mean, I don't even like to really say that label anymore. That's another topic, but I really don't like to say that. I just, I'm worried about the material world, the world as we see it and live it. That's what my concern is. All those other things, it's like it's not helping us. It's not helping us. Whether you pray or don't pray, you know what I mean? It's not helping you unless you you got to put action in. You are your own savior, and that's my whole thing. You save yourselves. We're going to save each other,
We're our own savior.
It doesn't, all this unseen stuff, we don't have to even trip about that. Leave your religion at home.
Yeah, put it in your back pocket.
Yeah, put it in your back pocket.
Especially right now.
Please do.
Nobody's coming to save us. We got to do it for each other, like she said.
Now
I've
more
been
than
a big
ever.
believer in that. Yeah, especially now more than ever. I think a lot of people are starting to see, like, hey man, we gotta really stop all this nonsense, But it's kind of like been a war too, between people with this virus or whatever, this pandemic. It's like people been kind of like warring with each other and going back and forth, especially on social media, man.
They're bored. They're tired of being in the house. Everybody's scared. They panic. So it's important. That's why it's important. Oop, my phone dying. But that's why it's important to stay informed. Stay informed with the right information. Like I said,
stop listening to people on YouTube and whatever they post on Facebook. Like, that's not valuable information. That's not accredited. Those are not accredited sources. Go to the source. Go to these websites we mentioned. CDC putting out updates like every day, all day long. Developmentforafrica.org. I'm telling y'all, go there. That's bomb information. That is revolutionary information that helps us all. Post the link in the comments after we.
I'll post the link in the comments to go there, because it's continuously updated and it gives you tips, everything you need to know to help protect yourself from the colonial virus, the COVID-19.
Exactly. All right.
Yeah.
Join us next time where the topic will be whatever we can think of. I mean, or whatever.
Whatever social media talking about that we need to debunk, because we're tired of seeing y'all post stupid things like smelling orange pills kills coronavirus. So whatever idiotic things that we see online, that will be the next topic.
Hey, shout out to Impedum.
Uhuru.
Shout out to APSP, African People's Socialist Party. Shout out to Chairman Omali Yesatella. Shout out to all my San Diego comrades, including my comrade Compliment right here. We doing big things, man. And fist up, fight back all the time.
Freedom on the mind of black people 24/7.
Exactly. Black power matters. Oh, yes, it does.
Bye.